When the lights go out and the world grows quiet, some places don't sleep, they remember. Tonight we step into the shadows where history whispers and the dead refuse to stay silent. You're listening to Books Paranormal Podcast. Welcome back to episode 3 of Books Paranormal Podcast. This episode is called The Shadows of Dudley Castle. Tonight we travel into the heart of the West Midlands, to a place where stone remembers blood, where shadows linger long after the sun has gone, and where something still walks the ruins of a once powerful stronghold. This is the story of Dudley Castle. You shouldn't be here. Most people don't realise that until it's too late. They think they're listening to a story. They think they're safe. Tonight, you're not. What you're about to hear is not folklore, not legend, and not something that stayed in the past. Dudley Castle, the West Midlands, a ruin that still breathes, a place where death didn't finish the job. And if you're listening alone, good, because Dudley Castle prefers it that way. This castle was built for war, scarred by betrayal, consumed by fire, and whispered to be one of the most haunted locations in England. Visitors report footsteps where no feet should be, children crying where no children remain, and a woman watching from the tower. So turn the lights down, put your headphones on, and listen carefully, because Dudley Castle is not as empty as it looks. Part 1. A Castle Born in Blood. Dudley Castle stands on a limestone hill, overlooking the town below like a silent judge. Its foundations date back nearly 1,000 years, to shortly after the Norman conquest in 1066. Built on a symbol of dominance, Dudley Castle was never meant to be peaceful. It was designed to intimidate, to control, and to withstand siege. And it did. For centuries, Dudley Castle witnessed wars, executions, imprisonment, betrayal, and plague. Knights marched through the gates, never to return. Prisoners screamed within its walls, and nobles plotted the downfall of their enemies in candle-lit chambers. History tells us that violence leaves echoes, and Dudley Castle is full of them. Part 2. The fire that never went out. In 1750, Dudley Castle was struck by a devastating fire. The blaze tore through its structure, collapsing floors, consuming wood and flesh alike. The castle was abandoned soon after, left to rot under the sky. But something curious happened. Locals claimed that even after the fire had been extinguished, they could still smell smoke. Not ordinary wood smoke, not wood, something darker. To this day, visitors report the sudden scent of burning, strong, choking, despite no fire, no source, no explanation. Some believe the fire never truly ended, They say the castle remembers. Part 3. The Woman in Grey. Perhaps the most famous apparition of Dudley Castle is the Grey Lady. She's been seen countless times over the decades, standing atop the tower, gazing down into the grounds below. Witnesses describe her as tall, motionless, dressed in a flowing grey gown that moves even when the air is still. Legend claims she was a noblewoman, imprisoned within the castle walls, accused of treason or betrayal. Accounts differ. But what remains consistent is her fate. She was locked away, forgotten, and just left to die. Visitors have reported making eye contact with her, only for her to vanish the moment before they blink. Others say she turns her head slowly and just watches them leave. Part 4. The Children of Dudley. Now, not all spirits are silent watchers. Some cry. Late at night, security staff and visitors have reported hearing children laughing in the ruins. Others have heard sobbing. Soft at first, then louder, then suddenly, right behind them. During medieval times, infant mortality was high. Disease, famine, and neglect were common. Some historians believe children were once housed, and sometimes hidden, within the castle during the outbreaks of the plague mainly. Were they abandoned? Were they lost? Or did they never leave? The paranormal investigators have recorded EVPs capturing childlike voices, whispering words such as cold, help, don't go. Part 5. The Dark Figure on the Stairs. One of the most chilling reports from Dudley Castle involves a shadow figure. Witnesses describe it to be tall, dark shape. It's always seen walking around the castle staircases. No features, no face, just darker than the darkness around it. One investigator reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as soon as that figure approached, followed by sudden nausea, dizziness, and a sensation of being watched. When the figure reached the top of the stairs, it stopped and turned. And as you can probably imagine, the investigator just ran. He never returned to that castle. Part 6. Modern Encounters. Even in recent years, Dudley Castle continues to unsettle. Cameras malfunction. Batteries drain instantly. Audio equipment records whispers no one heard at the time. Visitors have reported being touched, a hand on the shoulder, a tug at the jacket, only to turn around and find no one there. Some claim to have seen figures moving in the windows of the ruins, windows that no longer have floors behind them. And then there are the footsteps. Slow, deliberate, following, but never catching up. Part 7. Why Dudley Castle remains haunted. Why here, you might ask? Why did Dudley Castle refuse to rest? Paranormal teams and investigators believe the combination of intense human suffering, sudden violent death, and centuries of emotional energy has created a perfect storm. The castle itself was never cleansed, never blessed, never really allowed peace. Its stones absorbed everything, and now they replay it over and over and over again. If you ever find yourself walking the grounds of Dudley Castle after dark, listen carefully. Watch the tower. And if you hear your name whispered softly behind you, don't answer. Because some believe that acknowledging the spirits of Dudley Castle is like an invitation. And once they know you can hear them, they may not let you leave alone. So this has been Buck's Paranormal Podcast. If you've enjoyed tonight's episode, subscribe, follow and share. And if you've had your own paranormal experience at Dudley Castle or anywhere else, I really want to hear from you. But until next time, sleep lightly, because history never truly dies, and some places never forget. So folks, thanks for watching and listening. That was episode 3, Dudley Castle. It's a place I've been to numerous times over the years. If there's anywhere that you guys have been, or anywhere you know it's haunted, it's got some interesting stories behind it, anything you want me to investigate or speak about on the air, make a little episode of, drop in the comments, let me know where it is, what you'd recommend, and your stories behind it if you've been there yourself. But yeah, thanks for listening, and catch you next time.